Hi, I'm Chris Hammond, CTO and co-founder of Narrative Science, and this is Katie DeLeon, our director of marketing. In a moment, we're going to show you sort of a few examples of Narrative Science's Quill in action, but we thought it might be useful to actually tell you what it does before we do so. The platform does one simple thing. It takes data, figures out what that data means, and automatically writes a narrative that explains it to you in natural language. That is to say, it transforms your data into the stories that count. Which means that after many years and millions of dollars invested in data gathering, analysis, painful spreadsheets, visualizations that require interpretation, Quill actually now provides decision makers with the ability to understand what's going on with their data. Not by calculating, not by interpreting, but by simply reading the narratives that Quill has written for them. Quill provides human insight at machine scale, which is to say that the technology can be used anywhere. For business process data, professional and personal performance data, educational data, government and policy data, sports, real estate, everywhere. While the use cases are ubiquitous, we've identified a few ways in which financial services organizations can leverage Quill to solve major challenges in the industry that the industry is facing. In particular, for investment research, attribution reporting, and client portfolio review, Quill can generate highly personalized content at machine scale. For example, one of our clients provides corporate ratings for its ratings data for its customers. In particular, it provides ratings analysis of over 35,000 global equities related to the likelihood that they will default on their public debt. But given their product is the data, which requires deep technical skills to understand, the size of their market is small. The company realized that it could expand this market by generating narratives, explaining and expanding upon the data for each of these equities. But generating a report from this data requires sophisticated skills and weeks of work, which is to say it takes an analyst about 2 weeks and over 4,000 individual calculations to generate just one of these reports. So generating 35,000 reports a year doesn't really work. When you add in visualizations, formatting, and the need to update the report whenever relevant conditions of the world change, it is simply impossible to turn this data into a complete set of readable documents, unless you have Quill do it for you. In a second, Quill can produce an 8-page explanation of the debt assessment, background reasoning, and historical analysis, including both inter- and intra-industry comparisons and reasoning based on the company's current capitalization, and do it on demand with visualizations, impeccable formatting, in a complete deliverable PDF format. The content is not only on point to our clients' customers' needs, but also indistinguishable from a document written by a skilled human analyst. Not only with text, but with visualizations, fully integrated into the story. All of this is generated at scale, so that anytime a customer wants the newest version, it's there and completely up to date. All completely automatically generated by Quill. Of course, not all investors want highly detailed research reports. Some simply want to know how the funds they are invested in are doing against benchmark and get a workup of why those funds are performing well or sometimes badly. That is, they want an attribution report. Here again, the data is there, but getting to the story takes some effort, especially when you consider that you are really looking for more than one story. On one hand, you want an explanation for the fund managers themselves so they can understand the drivers and how their own decisions are playing out. On the other, you want a report for investors so they can assess the performance of not only the funds, but also the people who manage them. Same data, same analysis, but different reports for different audiences and skill levels. For the portfolio managers, Quill generates a technical document focusing on where their decisions have an impact on the fund's performance. The language is technical and focused on how those decisions and numbers play out. For investors, Quill generates a less detailed and more colloquial report that focuses on the explanation of the fund's performance against benchmark. In both cases, the documents are grounded in the data, but crafted by Quill to fit the skills and capabilities of the audiences it is writing for. This is one of the hallmarks of Quill, the generation of documents focused on audience and communication needs while still being grounded in the data itself. Finally, I want to show you a piece of work we are doing in partnership with Personal Capital. Personal Capital provides a web-based personal finance management service for its clients that we are augmenting with personalized narratives. Narratives that go beyond simply exposing the client's financial data to actually explaining it. Here, each user has their own data, in this case anonymized for this presentation. For each one, Quill generates a unique portfolio report. The report provides an overview of the market today, how the client's investments have performed, how the last month has done, and advice around any tactical problems that Quill can identify. In this instance, Quill is generating thousands of stories, but each one is for an audience of one. These stories provide each end user with a portfolio performance review that starts with a top-line assessment, but then drives into historical trends, diversification issues, tracking against goals, and comparisons against other investors with similar investment plans and targets. The scale of this kind of communication is simply impossible without the use of Quill and its ability to transform the data into clear, clean, and strikingly useful narratives. So this is Quill. It's able to turn any data and analytics set into narratives that go beyond the data to the insights that are contained within them, and it does so at machine scale. It's able to generate documents that explore and explain incredibly deep analysis, map the results of that analysis onto documents crafted for different audiences with different skills, and transform the data associated with individuals into highly personalized documents to craft client communications for an audience of one. And once configured, it does so without any human intervention. So that's Quill, and we're narrative science. Human insight at machine scale.